right, so we just waiting a moment in presence, allowing people to join this live stream today. And just as you're joining, really take a couple of deep breaths, coming into the present moment to be able to fully receive everything that is shared today, and anything that, any activities from before, just leaving them behind, to be fully present in the here and now. All right. So, please, as you hop on today, share where you're from, share where you're joining us today. Would love to hear from you, would love to see you, would love to see your comments. And today we are going to be speaking about 3 reasons why positivity is blocking your prosperity. So this may be a contradiction, because we always believe that we have to be positive, we have to be in this high vibe, we have to be all those things, right? To attract abundance, to attract the things we want, to attract prosperity, and you know, to be spiritual, and all the stories, and mostly when we look out in the world, it's always about being positive and sharing these positive affirmations and all of that. So I'm going to share with you the 3 reasons why this is actually blocking you. And if you're hopping on, please share your name, please share where you're joining us from. So the first reason is that the positivity is a form of restriction, because imagine you're going through a process and maybe something is coming up for you, or you know, you're creating your business and you want to grow in your business, and then you're feeling something is coming up, but you are not allowing yourself to feel it and to be fully with it, because you're scared that if you are, and if this, you know, if you are with that it's kind of killing your vibe on some level, yeah? And that you won't be able to be like in a high vibration, okay? So through that, you are actually faking some like a positive thing. You're faking an affirmation and like trying to put something, an idea on top of what you're actually feeling underneath. And with that, are we coming to the next point, which is to be able to fully feel everything that is there as it is there. And as you're joining, please just pop your name into the comments, so I can see who is there and all of that, because we'd love to see you, would love to know. Hey Freya, hi, thank you for joining. So coming back to that point of the emotions. Hello Heidi, welcome. Basically, when you have a bunch of emotions that are coming up and you are trying to not to feel them because you believe that you have to be positive, or you are, you know, there's anger coming up, there's sadness coming up, and then you're just taking a deep breath and like, no, I'm not feeling angry. And it's funny because the other day the situation happened where I was with a friend of mine, and she said something about, she was like feeling insecure about something. She was like, oh, I don't know, or yeah, and she was like saying how it was. She was saying, oh, I'm feeling, this makes me quite insecure. And then she instantly went ahead into changing her wording and saying, oh, no, actually it's not, because I am safe. And because, so rather than to stay with that insecurity and whatever it is bringing up. So in this spiritual paradigm and in this whole positivity movement, we are so conditioned to always change how we are thinking, to change the wording so that it can sound more spiritual and that it can bring us into a higher vibration. But what it actually does, it is suppressing what is there, okay? So if you are feeling like shit and you are then just getting up and you're like, oh, I'm feeling really bad, but I am just gonna, go ahead and do some yoga and meditate and drink a green juice and breathe it all away, your feeling like shit is not gonna go away. You may have temporarily disconnected from it, but it is still there. And it is going to manifest in your physical reality. Underlyingly on some level by some person coming up and triggering you, or your cash flow not exactly being the way you want, or you getting into a fight with your partner, or whatever it is, electronics. I used to be always really triggered by technological things not working out. I would try to book a flight or something, it didn't work, and I get so overwhelmed and frustrated with it, and I almost wanted to cry, and then I'd be like, no, it's fine, I'm just gonna breathe, it's okay. And once I actually finally just cried and broke down after, it was just working smoothly. And finally, this is not happening at all anymore, but it used to happen all the time for me. It was a little thing. So I'm just inviting you now to think about what it is in your life. What are like the little things that come up in your life, and that are maybe these little frustrations that you're not really paying attention to, but you're just allowing them to frustrate you and then move on. So if you can think about something like that, please write it in the comments. If you are watching the replay, just #replay and share in the comments. Like, I would love to know what it is for you. So that was one of the many things, how it was manifesting for me in those little ways, how like my anger would just come out. Yeah, and then what we do is the third point, coming to the third point with this, is that we actually create a separation in our body. Yeah, so the first point is restricting. We are restricting ourselves. The second point is we are suppressing our emotions through this constant need of being positive. And the third point is that we are separating. We are separating the part that doesn't feel positive. We are separating the part that maybe just wants to scream and maybe just wants to say fuck it all, because sometimes in life it can be like that, and sometimes it can just be for a moment, and then we come back, and maybe it's just for days, but it doesn't matter. The point is we're separating because we believe this part shouldn't be there. We believe this part is not good enough. Like, anger and rage and pain and sadness is not accepted in our society. If we would go out and be in a train and just cry, people would probably look weirdly at us. It's not a thing. You just don't cry. We don't do that. Or being angry, So I'm laughing because one time Gabriel and I were out, my beloved, and something was happening. I got really triggered, and I just got angry on the street. And he was like, don't just get angry on the street, you know? It's like, why? I want to get freaking angry now, and like, what? I don't care what people think, you know? And obviously we don't want to project that anger out. But the problem is when we are not allowing our emotions to come through and be with them and feel them, and we're just breathing it away, and we're trying to put a positive label on top of it, it has to come out somehow. So it most likely is going to come out in the relationships with the people we love, and is gonna burst out. Or if we are so on such a deep level of suppression, it may manifest in physical symptoms of rashes or pains. Like everything to do with rashes and itchiness is all suppressed fire. Yeah, because this anger and the sadness and all the different emotions, the whole spectrum, is part of our humanity and is part of our human experience. And yes, I totally agree with that. When we go through this journey of ascension, and when we are constantly, truly, sincerely working with our emotions and allowing a lot of these blocked old triggers and trauma responses to release out of our system, it is going to be easier. We are going to be feeling more peaceful. We are going to be feeling more connected to our body, and we're going to be feeling juicier, and there is going to be less maybe deep anger that suddenly comes out, or rage, or so on. But at the end, it's still there. Like, honestly, I'm not even trying now. Like, there was a life where I was like, okay, I want to heal my anger, and I'm going to like do, you know, like I was already doing the healing work of, you know, the way that I work with my tools of shaking and dance and different ways that modalities that I use. So I was already doing that. And then I was trying to get to a point where I just wasn't angry anymore. And I realized that I'm going to be freaking angry sometimes. And that's okay, you know? As long as I'm not projecting it out onto my partner, onto people, and blaming and shaming, but taking full responsibility for my emotions and for what I'm experiencing, it's totally fine. And I'm not trying to reach a state anymore where I'm not angry or not sad or not this or not that, or only happy and only grateful. Because for a long time in my life I tried, and it wasn't working out. And I wasn't feeling happy with myself, and I wasn't feeling free, and I wasn't feeling in expansion and in connection and in love, because I believed that I had to be a certain way, because I believed that anger was my ego, and that sadness was my ego, and that if I speak my truth in a very clear and sometimes bold and fierce way, that's my ego, because I only have to be like the peaceful and loving being to breathe love and light. And I felt so constricted in that, and I felt so fucking not good enough, because it just wasn't who I was. And because I have a lot of fire, a lot of sensual, juicy power, a lot of fierceness, a lot of passion, and I felt that all those things were just not welcome. And I felt that they didn't have a place. That if I'm still in that I would somehow restrict my ascension, and that I'm like too human, and that I'm not, you know, like in union with God, and all the ideas that I had, what it means to be in union with God, and that what love even means, what love means. Like that love is just this like fluffy pink thing and light, and yes, it is, and I hold that deeply in my being, that beautiful nurturing energy. And when I hold space, it is there, that like beautiful divine mother, divine feminine. But there's as well the fierceness and the power and the strength and the boldness and clarity that sometimes needs to be there. And especially now in the time that we are in, why we want that, why we need that in the time of Kali Yuga, where, you know, we've been forced to put certain chemicals into our bodies, where we can't breathe freely, where, you know, constantly we are being told what to do and what not to do. We need to activate that power inside ourselves in order to feel free to speak up, to speak our truth, to stand up for ourselves. And in the same time as well, that deep, open, soft, beautiful vulnerability. Because that deep, open, soft, divine vulnerability, allowing ourselves to fully feel any grief or sadness that may be there, is the key to unlocking the openness of our heart. So all the pieces are here, and all the pieces, all the whole spectrum of our being is so welcome to be there. So coming back to that last point of is, when we are constantly trying to be positive, we are separating from this part of what is, and this part of what is that may not be positive in that very moment is going to feel really abandoned. And we are actually abandoning ourselves on some level. You know, we are abandoning who we are in that moment. We are abandoning what is. No, and when I started to do that work, I can tell you there was an inner child that was so angry. Like, she was so angry at me. She was like, where were you all this time? I was waiting for you. I needed you. I wanted you. You know, and there's so many tears, and I was doing so much forgiveness work with myself to really, really be able to embrace all these parts of me into wholeness, and to just tell them that they are okay. You don't need to be perfect. Wholeness is not about perfection and positivity. Wholeness is about being one whole and complete human with all the parts that may need longer, that are maybe slower, that, you know, are not perfect, and our incredible, amazing, divine, illuminated parts that are here as well. And you know, the beautiful thing is, me being able to embrace my humanity, and that, you know, the patterns or triggers that come up from my divine space has allowed me to be able to, when I am maybe in a space where I don't feel worthy or sad or not good enough, or where I have doubt, to remember that even if this doubt or unworthiness is there in that moment, that I am still in the same time a beautiful, divine, wise, gifted being. And I really know that from my heart. It's not just words. And I really honor and see myself, all parts of myself. Not only the positive, not only the parts that I love and that I want to be there, but all the parts. And the more I can do that, and the more I can feel, and the more I can be, the more free I feel. The more in flow I feel with my life. The more I can show up for myself. The more I can allow myself to just be as I am and say what I want to say without needing to edit it because I think maybe someone else is not going to like it or is going to judge me or going to think I'm not spiritual enough or blah, 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 blah. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't. Because this is just who I am. At this point, it may change, but it doesn't matter. And then how is it manifesting in my physical reality? It is manifesting in more love and wholeness in my love relationship with my beloved. That doesn't mean that there are no triggers or no things coming up, but it just means that the way we are interacting is in a more loving way. And that's how it would be for anyone who does that work. It's going to show up in you being able to bring in more prosperity in your life. And for me, prosperity is not only money, but it is as well money. Like, let's talk about money. Yes, there's going to be a cash flow that is constant. That is just constantly there. Because you know why? Because your cash flow and the money that is coming in is not dependent upon how you feel, upon you needing to be positive, upon you needing to be in a high vibe. No. Like, my reality is, no matter how I feel, money is always coming in. If I'm resting, money is coming in. And sure it does. It is. And this is just the beginning. I know, we're going to the next levels and the next levels. And it's going to manifest in a way that you just feel more connected with your body, with presence, with the flow in your life. There's just less pressure, less control. It's going to manifest in your nervous system, in your health, being in a more vital and vibrant space. Your nervous system opening and relaxing because you feel safe. Because why is it that we don't feel safe? It is because we have a bunch of stuck emotions underlying. It is because there are fears inside our system that probably have been there since we've been children, maybe even since more lifetimes. And those fears can be cleared like that. It doesn't need to take ages. It just needs a crystal clear way of getting into them, a safe space that is held for you to be able to enter and access them. And it needs your commitment. Okay? So it doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to be hard. It may be intense, yes, but how intense is it if you're not doing it? Like, how is it gonna feel if you're constantly just trying to be positive and just actually restricting yourself under this, like, it's almost like this controlling energy of like, no, I have to be positive. I need to be like that. Otherwise, what I want is not gonna happen. Otherwise, I'm not spiritual enough. Like, how is this gonna make you feel? It's gonna make you feel disconnected. And this disconnection is going to create, on some level, a sense of depression, a sense of sadness, a sense of isolation, loneliness. Do you think from that place you're going to manifest prosperity? Do you think from that place you're going to be like in cash flow? And even if you are in cash flow, I guarantee you 100% anyone who's listening to that and who can relate is probably making a lot of money through struggling hard. So is that what we want? Is that the new paradigm? No, it's not. It's not. So F the positivity. Like, yeah, I'm not saying don't have affirmations or don't have practices where you share about, not where you share, where you affirm and where you talk to yourself. Of course you can do that. But don't use it as a form of bypassing what is actually there. So as I shared before, briefly, this does not have to be a hard process. It doesn't have to take a very long time neither. And anyone who's just hopped on, please share your name or where you're from. Hello, Veronica. I actually don't need to know your name because I can see it, but just where you're from. And we have been on here already for half an hour, but there is going to be the replay, obviously, so you can watch all of that to get all these juicy activations and transmissions that have been coming through today. So anyway, been touching into that it does not have to be taking a very long time. It does not have to be a massive struggle or play out in really intense karmic situations in your life where you maybe have to like lose your job or go through a traumatic breakup, or where you're like lost and don't have any money or don't have a home or whatever. And I've been through all those things. I mean, maybe not losing my job, but all the other things and many more of them. And it doesn't have to be like that if you are ready to commit to doing the work, and if you're ready to receive the support from someone that can hold you in that space. And one of the things, or many of the things that I bring into the container is really a crystal clear frequency of love and presence, which is going to make you feel so safe and so held and so open that whatever is there is just going to be able to come up and to flow up. And it may not be in the first session, it can be, it often is. It may take a bit longer. It may take me pointing the things out, and I will, because this is something what I do is when I see shadow, when I see blind spots, when I see shit, I just point them out. I don't care if it triggers you. I don't care if, like all your defenses come up. You know why? Because my service here is to support you in rising and embodying your divinity, in embodying your authenticity, in rising into self-worth and creating this life of magic, overflow, divine presence and purpose. And I'm going to do anything it takes for you to rise into that space. This is like my 100 million% commitment. And I know that whoever I work with is rising into that space 100%. If they commit. And I don't work with everyone. I only work with people that are truly committed, that are truly ready to do the work, that are here to show up and do what it takes and do the things I ask them to do their homework, and that are ready to get out of the old patterns of victimhood and manipulation and of, trying to be positive, trying to be spiritual, trying to be all the things. I don't give a shit. Like we're gonna dismantle all the masks. We're gonna dismantle all the things so that you can be fully who you truly are. First of all, feel everything that is there so it can be liberated and freed and can come into wholeness inside yourself. Your lower parts can merge with your higher soul, and then from that you can actually then activate what you're here and what you came here to be, and really feel your soul's calling, your desires that come from the depth of your being. That's what I do. That's why I came here for. And I'm not going to stop ever doing it, this work, this service in this life. As many of us have been stopped and have been shut down so often in other lives and even in this life, you know, when we were children and told how we were meant to be and how we were not meant to be. And that's the thing, you know, to access that true authenticity inside yourself, that divine authenticity, that you'll be able to just be yourself no matter what. And it is going to be love. It is going to be love because we are love. We are love in the depth of our being. Our most authentic expression is love. But that love has so many beautiful, unique colors. In the divine garden of God, where you look at all the flowers and of all the butterflies and of all the shapes, and like if you just go out into nature and look all the patterns, they're so beautiful and so unique, and yet they all come from that same source, from the soils of Mother Earth. So my love is why we are here. We came to create something new. We came to create the queendom, the kingdom of heaven on earth. So are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Hello, Brian. Thank you for your smileys. I'm just going to read a couple of comments. Called out a friend that for frustrating me emotion. I met a former boyfriend of hers that confirmed my emotions. He freed me of his direct experience of her validating the spell. She has created the illusion of herself to the public, pulling the tough weed that was ugly occupied too much energy. When I pulled it out, the illusion separated and I became free in my own peace. Exactly. It's sometimes about speaking up to our friends, speaking up to the people we love, to free ourselves from that illusion. I think that's what I understood. Right, I'm going to go through the comments later one more time. But anyway, beloveds, so are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Because if you are ready to rise, if you are ready to step into that full vibrance, into your abundance, into your divine authenticity, and if you're ready to receive the support and go for it, to open and know that it can be so fast and that your life can shift in a matter of weeks into the next level of your vibration, then I invite you to join me, because I have a free soul clarity call in which I'm going to talk to you one-on-one and hear your needs, and channel through what it is that you need. Exactly. Just give me a second, please. Gabriel! There's the laundry guy. What it is that you need, we'll map that out in that call, and we create your divine action plan. And then you can have that and you can do with it what you want, you know. But please take that opportunity. It's completely for free. It's not about, like, you know, me trying to sell you all the things. I want to make this plan with you so you have it And so you know what it takes, and for you to really feel and tune into your heart, what to do from there and how to go from there. So I'm going to pop the link to the call in my comments, in the description, so you can check that out after. And anyone who's listening to this, because I'm going to share this video on some other platforms, this has been a Divine Power Live in my Facebook group, and I am doing them weekly, every Tuesday at 12 CDT. So if you love this, join my Facebook group, Modern Mystics Magic Collective. I'm going to pop the link into the description as well. Join. I'm sharing a lot of magical content there. I'm sometimes going live. I'm going to be going live spontaneously as well. It's a beautiful community that is forming here, and we are all together growing and doing this work to create the new earth together, to create a new paradigm. So, who here is agreeing with this? Please send me a little yes. Send me a little yes, yes, yes. I want to have some yeses before I am going offline. I want to have some yeses from yes, I'm ready to create this new paradigm. I'm ready to be free from like the stuckness, from the limiting emotions and the limiting beliefs and the ideas on how I have to be or how I not have to be. Wowza. All right, my beautiful beings. Fire, baby. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we need today. Thank you. Thank you, Heidi, for your support. I love you all. It was a joy to be here with you all. Thank you for tuning in, and I see you next week. Yes, yes, yes. I think sometimes the comments come a bit delayed as well. So yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Freya. Thank you, all the beautiful beings. Brian, Veronica, all the people that I hear. Thank you. And I see you soon. Well, I see you next week, and we stay connected in the group. So much love. Bye.